A Nigerian lady was put up for sale on Facebook by a Lebanese man, Wael Jero, some few weeks back. Thankfully, the lady has been rescued by the government. My guest today is Motilola Adekunle. She's a Nollywood actress and also a convener of Project Fairy. So, Project Fairy is a non governmental organization that is helping trafficked ladies back to Nigeria. Please welcome Motilola Adekunle. I saw you on, I think it was on Facebook about Project Fairy, and that just really got me curious. As in, okay, you're a well known established actress and a very talented one.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm just wondering, how did you get into Project Fairy? How did that come about?
Okay. Project Fairy started when a lady reached out to me via my DM on Instagram,
Okay.
and she told me, she literally said, "Save my soul, I am dying here." That was like the topic, of a DM, and that caught my attention. So I went to read the DM, and she told me that she was a graduate of the University of Ibadan. She had studied psychology from UI, and she's currently in Oman, doing domestic slavery or something. I'm like, I'm sorry, can you explain how a graduate
Yeah.
of psychology from the UI, a second class upper graduate, is now like a slave in Oman? How did that come about?
Yeah.
And then she told me that she was told that she was going to teach English
Oh,
to Omanis who intend to work outside Oman.
okay.
So they needed to learn the English language, and that was what they told her. At first, they told her it was going to happen in Dubai, but later they said, okay, the person she was supposed to teach had moved to Oman, and then she was supposed to just get there and be a lesson teacher. Only for her to get there, they promised her about I think 250,000 per month, naira, Nigerian naira, which is a very fantastic offer if you ask me. It's almost too good to be true, to just English. So of course she went for it. And when she got there, she realized that on getting to the airport, they seized their passport. I mean, that was the first thing. That was the first red flag she saw. That they collected her passport, and she started saying, "I mean, my passport is my private property. You have
Yeah.
no right to collect my passport and blah blah blah." And then the guy told her, "You're talking too much. I think you think you're smart. You think you have rights. Look around you. This is no longer Nigeria. I will kill you, and nothing will happen." And when she heard that, and she does not speak Arabic, she didn't even know the next thing to do. So she decided to comply. At first, she thought, okay, maybe he doesn't want to pay me, he just wants me to teach him English for free. And then they got to an office and they told her what she was there for. She was going to be a maid. She was going to work 20 hours a day, no internet, no phone, no rest, no day off. And she was going to be earning 60,000 naira or 55,000 naira, depending on the currency. So she said she refused and she told them that she was not going to do it. She insisted on not doing it. Then they locked her up in a cell, a small cell, for like 6 days without food or water. She got so thirsty at the point she was drinking water from the toilet in the store. So when it got to that point, she decided that she was going to do the work anyway until she has access to at least her passport, or to at least talk to somebody from home, let them know that it's exactly what she's going through. So when they brought her out, they told her that she was going to have to work for at least 6 months to cover the expense. No, to work for a year to cover the expense that they put into bringing her to man. So against her, sensible judgment, she had to accept. I mean, she was already in that
In
position.
there.
It was either or get locked back in the cell until she decides to do it. So of course she chose the smart thing. She decided to comply. And then when she got to that house that she was going, they gave her a phone back, so she
Okay.
could talk to the guy who deceived her, who told her that she was going to be an English teacher and blah blah blah. So when she called the guy told her that, well, it is what it is. You can either live with it or face the consequences of not living with it. I'm still helping you. You were jobless in Nigeria anyway. At least this is a job. And she told the guy that this was not what you told me. So how do I get out of here? The guy was like, okay. work for a year and then you'll be out. But she wasn't having it. So she went to the house and she asked herself, like, what can I do to get out of here quickly? According to her, Omani hates smell. They ate, smelly spaces and all that. So she started winging on her body. She started pretending like she had lost control of her bladder. So every
Okay.
opportunity she had, she would wee on her body. And the house, the smell of adult urine over
Urine,
and
yeah.
over and over again. So they rejected her and took her to the office. When she got back there, she continued weeing on her body until they told her, okay, take your phone, call your people, come and leave. We don't care about you. And then she reached out to me.
Okay.
So I told her, okay, now we're at this point. What do we do? She says they're telling her to pay 400,000 to cover the expense and literally buy her back. Like we had to buy her back from them and then pay for her ticket. I didn't have that kind of money, so I came to Instagram and I told people that look, there's a young Nigerian that is our future that is supposed to be helping us develop this country that is dying somewhere out there in Oman. As at that point, I thought it was just the 2%. Like, okay, maybe this just happens to like a few people and then it's
Mm-hmm.
really not the man, blah, blah, blah. So we raised the money. Good people of Nigeria gave us money. And she's back home in Nigeria now, by the way. She has a job. She's fine. She's well settled and all of that.
Okay.
After her, then Project Fairy was born. Project Fairy was born. I'm Toto Biloba. I reached out to a couple of my friends and I'm like, I am overwhelmed by this thing. I thought I just wanted to do Toby Loba's case and just move on with my life. But this is the reality of a lot of Nigerians, especially Toby was well read. Toby has a degree. There are a
Mm-hmm.
lot of illiterates who sign documents, who sign things that they don't even read through. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they don't understand what they're getting themselves into, and these people
Okay.
take advantage of these people and sell them off, to people. As I speak to you, there's a website where Nigerian women are displayed for sale
Mm-hmm.
in the Middle East. Like it's right there if you want to check it out. So it's insane. It is crazy out there. So I called a group of friends. My friend Motilola found me. She's my partner in this. She's in the United States. So Motilola lives in the US. So we talked about starting something. We got a group of associates. We all got together, and since then, since I'm talking about November last year, no October, September last year. From September till now, we've rescued about 10 girls from Oman, about 40 something girls from Lebanon, who are back in Nigeria right now as we speak. This is about the girls that are in slavery. Whatever it takes to bring them home. Do you get what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like for me, it's whatever it takes. Like the girl whose case recently went viral, the one that was in Lebanon and was put
Yeah.
up for sale. I mean, we started making noise about it, and then they heard about it, and then they decided that it was time to make a move. Now she's made a move. She has rescued that girl, just that one girl. There
Okay.
are several others. I've consistently tweeted at her, telling her that, Ma, thank you for this one. But there are several others. You have the means, you have the power, you have the strength to do it. There are several others who are on display on this particular website. If you check my tweets on Twitter, they're
Mm-hmm.
like directed at her. Like she has not even, not as much, like as little as a full stop. Like, okay, thank you for calling my attention to this. I'll look into it. Nothing, nothing. And now we have to wait until it starts trending. Then she will attend to it when it trends. And that's very worrisome for
Yeah.
me personally. Like, do you know how many people are dying and will never trend? Are you aware that people are being pushed off story buildings like every other day in places like Lebanon and Libya, and people are being tortured as little as Ivory Coast here. I have about 30 girls in Ivory Coast who are forced into prostitution who want to come to Nigeria. Project Ferry does not have the means. We do not have the funding. Every time we need money, we have to do crowdfunding. We have to do GoFundMe. We have to do donations from well-meaning Nigerians on the internet to get
Yeah.
money. But there is a ministry dedicated to this. There's a Ministry of Foreign Affairs. There is Madam Abike Dabiri, who is also doing a great job. But I feel there's NAPTIP, who should actually be doing this.
That job.
But
Yeah.
somehow, the harvest is many.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the laborers are very
I
few.
feel.
And we are volunteering to also come into that field just because we're passionate about it. There is no hidden agenda here. Nobody is trying to contest for presidency that is funding us something. There is no hidden agenda here. It is just about the girl. And unfortunately, the Nigerian situation has made it difficult for anybody to see beyond one hidden agenda or the other. But we need them to really wake up because there's still so much to be done.
So have you ever thought about getting international funding?
Yes, we have thought about it. We have thought about it. But everyone that has approached us to try to see how we could get that, we, like I said about hidden agendas, we realize that there is always an agenda behind it. Somebody wants to use you to open a certain door and all of that. And we're apolitical, so to speak. We're not trying to create any political affiliations or nothing. We're just here to serve the girls who need to be rescued, and that's all. Do you understand? So we're trying to also tread carefully. As much as we need the funding, we're trying to be careful. There is a percentage. There's a percentage of these girls who actually knew what they were getting into, and they decided to go on with it anyway. Now, what we do at Project Fairy is directly, we're just here to serve victims of trafficking.
Okay.
Trafficking in the sense that those who did not know what they were getting
Okay.
into,
Okay.
those that they were sent there under false pretenses, false appearances, and all of that. Those
Okay.
are victims. Those are the actual victims of trafficking. And then we deal with people even if you knew what you were getting into. You also did not sign up for abuse. That is, we're talking about people who are physically, sexually, or people who have gone through abuse in the course of this work. We also work with those people.
Okay.
But if you knew what you were signing up for, if we have proof that you knew what you were signing up for, and you got there and somehow you just didn't like the weather and decided to come back, well, buy your own ticket, sister. We wish you all the best. But if you are an actual victim of
Yeah.
trafficking,
Yeah.
of course, that's what we do because the percentage of them do know what they were trying, what they were getting. They do.
Yeah. And what do you, because from my own perspective, like I really don't like it when people say, oh, why did they want to travel in the first place? Anybody has the right to decide, okay, I want to leave my country.
Exactly.
That's a
Yeah.
human right. And with the way Nigeria is, I don't even blame anybody who are moving to Cotonou. Is that bad? Because from my perspective, that's where I see it. Like, I can understand if you decide, oh, Nigeria is no good, you're going to Togo. It's your decision to travel. So obviously, I don't buy into, oh, but why would they want to live in the country? They have a right
There's
to.
nothing wrong with that. You
And
can
I
leave
get,
if you.
yeah, and I get your point that they have the right to say, okay, I don't like it anymore. They should be able to leave as well.
Yeah.
As a basic human right, you know?
That is it. That is it. Why would you not let them leave? You see, that's
Mm,
the problem.
mm,
Some of them signed 2-year contracts, and they call me and they're like, "Hello, I really want to leave." I'm like, "You signed this
mm.
by yourself. You knew what you were going there for.
Yeah.
Sit. You have to do the work. Nothing comes easy. Do the work.
Mm.
But if you did not know what you were going there for,
Okay.
and then you get there and they give you all these crazy conditions, and because somehow you're in a foreign land and you can't run and you reach out to us, we're going to help you get back home. That's what it is. What it is. There's no that's you're a victim of
Yeah.
trafficking. But when you deliberately walk into it with your eyes open and you're not being physically abused,
Hmm.
you're not being raped, you're not being beaten up, you're not, like, your life is not at risk in any way.
They're getting
If you want to
paid.
come home, yeah, if you want to come home, go and buy your own
No
ticket. Don't
ticket.
come to
Yeah.
me. I'm here for the victims, not people who deliberately
Mm,
decide to do
only.
what they want. Yeah.
And in terms of education, how educated do you think people are about this? Because it always amazes me how people decide to travel without, because I'm thinking, just go on the internet. A lot of, even from people from the Philippines, from people from India, you have a lot of victims on the internet.
Recently, I discovered that it's our orientation. Now in the southwest, Ibadan is the hub of trafficking. Ibadan is the heart and soul of human trafficking right now in the southwest. From our
Wow.
own experience, yes, Ibadan is the core head of human trafficking right now. Now, Let me paint a scenario. Let me paint a scenario for you so you'd understand what I'm talking about. There was this girl who desperately wanted to come home. Let's call her Elizabeth. Okay. Elizabeth knew what she was going into, but her parents encouraged her because they felt like I want to fellow mon evil. And that Mofelo mon evil, that's the exact reason why most ladies end up in Oman, in all those kind of places. Recently, when I do my campaign videos, I say Oman on Sheluibu, Lebanon on Sheluibu, you know, you have to keep telling them these things. So Elizabeth wanted to come home. She had traveled with three of her sisters. All three of them are domestic servants in Lebanon.
Okay.
But the work was getting too much for them, so all three of them wanted to come home. But so it was Elizabeth that reached out to us and was like, please, I'm dying, I need to come home. I'm like, okay, fine. Okay, talk to my father because we like to get the family involved in all of these things, all of these things. At times it's funny. We once had a girl who came back without her family's consent and they didn't let her enter the house. So because of that, we want to ensure that the family is aware. Some of them, their families are the ones who traffic them, who send them abroad. So we called the father and he was like, yes, 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 I don't want my daughter to die. Let her come home. And
Yeah.
then we called the mother and mom still was like, uh-uh. Even she, in another 2 months, she's going to join them in Lebanon. She also wants to be a domestic worker.
Oh God. Is well.
What do you tell a mother like that?
To be
You know,
honest with you, I can understand people having, like the hard work. I really don't get it from the point of the hard work, to be honest. Because if she's not, like you said, she's not being maltreated, it's just like she's working very hard. Personally, I
working
don't I don't
very,
get that.
working very hard is different from working like a slave. If you are being
Okay.
fed once a day and you have to work for 20 hours in one day, that is not working
No,
hard.
that's not work. Definitely no, that's not work.
That's slavery. That's
That's
somebody
slavery,
trying to
yes.
kill you.
Mm.
Do you understand? Like working very hard does not include washing the ceiling and washing the roof and
Mm.
working 3 hours a day. That is insanity.
That's yeah. That's
That is
slavery.
how they work. Yeah, that's slavery.
But I'm
That's
sure
how they
maybe
work.
the mother didn't understand it from that perspective because she wouldn't even be able to cope with that kind of work.
Yes. And the mother kept saying, Oleni, Emma Galon, Motimola Sile, blah, blah, blah. And there was nothing we did not say to stop this woman from even considering, even our own self. Emma Lo. She said, fẹ́ kóun ṣoríire ni. Òun dẹ̀ ti fi wá bú. Gbogbo ẹni tí ó fẹ́ kóun ṣoríire ẹ̀ kó wọn bá kú.
But another perspective is okay. Once she goes there and then she can't come, she can always come back home. At least once she has that ability to come back when she wants to come back.
She does not have, that's the problem. That ability to come back is taken away from you the minute you step into that country. They take your
Mm. But will you not hold the agents responsible more than the people they are going there to meet? Because I'm very sure at least one person must have complained to them.
the Nigerian agents are the problem.
Okay.
And it's a cartel. It's a
Mm.
cartel. For instance, a Nigerian agent will tell me that I'll work for 20. They sign all sorts of signatures for these girls and they send those forms out. So the person you're coming to meet believes that okay, you don't need medical care. You
You
already
understand?
know that you're not entitled to use the phone. You already know that you're not going to have access to the internet. You're just here to work for 2 years and then you're going back home. That is the impression the Lebanese man has. So he buys you, and then when you refuse to do these things, there's a problem.
Yes.
Because as far as he's concerned, that was the agreement. Do you understand? But these Nigerian agents are a major, major, major problem for us. And it's a cartel. They have roots in immigration. They have roots in the police. They have, like, they're everywhere. You arrest an agent today, in another 2 weeks, it's sending another batch of people abroad. It is that insane. And then you stop the girls at the airport and you're like, you can't go. They're selling you into slavery and they start crying, yeah, I want to buy you. I want to show you Buruku. And you wonder, I'm the good guy here. I'm trying
To help
to
him.
stop you from throwing your life away. And they go, but what are they doing, boy? And they start rolling on the floor at the airport. You know,
I'm
you
so
are,
sorry.
you
It's so
automatically,
funny.
you
Mm.
automatically become the bad guy. So how
Mm.
do you even begin to fix that kind of situation? Now we work with NAPTIP. NAPTIP tries as much as possible to prosecute this agent, but
Okay.
NAPTIP does not have enough power. From what I have seen, NAPTIP does not have enough power. NAPTIP cannot do it alone.
Mm.
NAPTIP does not have, I don't know, I don't know.
But NATIV is a government organization.
Yes,
It's a
NAPTIP
government
is a government.
organization.
Yes, it is. It is, but it's unfortunate. I think I'm just going to put it out there. NAPTIP is underfunded.
Okay.
They do not have all the resources they need to do the job.
Mm.
I think that's what's going on. They are underfunded, understaffed, and maybe undertrained. Maybe, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I think that's the problem.
So what do you think? Do you think there's any way forward? Is there anything that you'd like to see happening
The
differently?
way forward, the way forward will be to be. They need an inter agency, maybe a task force
Mm-hmm.
that will have immigration, police,
Mm-hmm.
NAPTIP, maybe private individuals like us on it that would have, then these agents need a regulatory board. See, if somebody wants to go and work in Oman, if you want to go and work in Oman and that's your wish and you so desire to go and work, there's somebody that needs to know, like this task force needs to know, like, okay, you're going of your own volition. These are the terms and conditions. These are the things you'll be subjected to. You need to
Mm-hmm.
sign right now. Let us all know that you are aware
That
that this is what you're
yeah,
going to
what do
do.
you want?
That singular action changes it from trafficking to seeking employment.
Mm-hmm.
the, Now, if that kind of person now goes to a man and starts saying I was trafficked, I'm like, do you have a mental problem? You knew what you were going in for.
What
Do
you
you
were
understand
going
what
in
I'm
there
saying?
for?
These places are places that you have red flags from already. You
Okay.
know, there's a giant red flag waving in Oman, Lebanon, Libya,
Mm-hmm.
um,
The Middle East,
Kuwait,
generally. The Middle
Middle
East.
East, especially the Middle East. We have this big red flag waving and saying, hey, danger zone.
Yes.
We can have a task force.
Mm.
Not necessarily NAPTIP. Leave NAPTIP. Let NAPTIP be arresting people and rescuing people. Let's have a task force that we can work with the Lebanese government, with the Lebanese embassy, the Omani embassy. If there's any here in Nigeria, all these embassies of the Middle East
Mm-hmm.
countries that are here in Nigeria, which is where they get their visas from. Let the task force have an office in all of these embassies. Let's tell anybody that comes in to seek this visa application, like, okay, you need to come and talk to us. Let us know that you know what you're getting yourself into.
Into.
If you
Mm.
can satisfactorily put your hand to paper after I've explained to you that this is what you're going there to do, I will show you videos of people that have gone there. Okay, so this is it. If you still want to do it, this is a list. Fine. Yeah, I think that's what we need to do. An independent task force that will have the cooperation of these embassies and the cooperation of the police and immigration. And if anyone comes in and they do not
Mm.
have the complete information, then they can say, my agent lied to me, and then we can pick up that person. Because what he is still doing, rather than helping them seek legit employment, is trafficking. There is no way we can do this independent of all the stakeholders. We have to come together and be on the same page so we can end modern day slavery and trafficking. And let there be consequences for people who do not treat domestic workers right.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that I even agreed to do all of these things does not make me less human than you
Yeah.
are.
Mm-hmm.
This is a job for me. It's not the end of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people need to see them as humans just like them too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's also a major thing that should be that should be put into consideration, that should be taken into consideration, especially the way they flog these ladies in Oman. Oman has been like a fortress. It's really difficult getting someone out of Oman. It's insane. Lebanon is a lot easier, but Oman is just crazy. Most be- most especially because there's no Nigerian High Commission or embassy in Oman.
Okay.
Really difficult. But I don't know Nigeria's bilateral relations with Oman. I don't even know if they have any
There's
relationship.
any.
But I know that we can obtain Omani visa in Nigeria. So it shows that they have some sort of presence
Yeah,
in
they do.
Nigeria.
Hmm.
It means that the government can reach out to them and talk to them. And then we can come to this agreement so that we all don't keep giving ourselves a bad name in the international community. Lebanon looks bad, Nigeria looks bad, Oman looks bad, everybody looks bad. Nobody's winning this battle.
And another thing, have you tried getting in touch with this country as an organization as well? And because just from what you just said, that just gave me an idea. Like even the person that is issuing the visa can actually ask them, okay, are you sure? They can do that.
Most of these visas are non-appearance visas. That's the status they need to change to.
Ah, okay. Just okay. Okay. So
That
look.
is why they can. Nigerian immigration is porous, so to speak. A 13-year-old can get a passport. Just
Hmm.
pay the right people.
Hmm.
And some of these girls, they'll just upgrade their age. All you need is to an affidavit and say, okay, I'm
And
18
this
years
age.
old, and that's it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So these are things that need to be done. One government policy will fix all of this, and
Hmm.
that is it. That's the funny thing, or at least cut it in half. You know, you cannot totally eradicate the evil in the hearts of man, but you can make it difficult, make it not worth it.
Mm.
For instance, if you're taking 50 girls to Lebanon, all you have to do is put in their papers and then get them stamped. Imagine having to take 50 girls to the airport, and not to the airport, to the embassy, each one
Mm.
after the other, each one
Yeah.
after. It becomes tedious.
Mm. And
It becomes
at that
tedious.
point, there's no point where it comes apart from okay, when at the airport, there's nobody they are seeing until they get to the airport. There's nobody like they can really certify what they are coming there to do.
There's nobody. There's nobody. So it's
Mm.
really easy for them right now. We can make it very difficult. We can make that process difficult, such that look, by the time you take 50 girls to the embassy, then they ask to talk to these girls one on one, each
Mhm.
one after the other, each one after the other. I'm telling you, if some of them are super smart, only 20 of them will hold up in the face of serious conversations. Only 20.
And even our immigration as well, at least they have to go through passport control before
They
they can
do.
travel.
They do. And when they get there, I don't know, immigration, like I said, it's a cartel. They have
Mm.
some of our girls have told us that they've had to pay 50,000 to the immigration person at the airport to let them go. It's part of the money they pay to be trafficked. 50,000 naira for immigration is standard, between 50 to 80,000. So it
But
means
another
that
thing, when you consider the amount of money people pay, is that money because I remember the first time I actually heard about this on the big scale was there was this guy that attends Dunamis Church. I think his testimony went viral because this guy paid 1 million. This guy was an engineer in Nigeria and he paid 1 million. And I'm thinking that
let
one
me tell you the
million.
crazy thing. Let me tell you the crazy thing. The last set of girls that came from Lebanon, there was one woman, she was a qualified nurse. She had all the MS one thing that nurses do.
Oh my
And
goodness.
then they told her that she was going to be a nurse in Oman.
Okay.
And she was going to be an actual nurse working at a hospital. And she was going to be earning 900K a month. It sounds good because you have your certificate, you know it's a job, you know you can do it. She got there and her passport was seized the minute she got there, and she was made to do domestic servants, to do domestic service, you
But
know?
did she, sorry it's cutting, but did she not at any point think about, okay, what's the name of the hospital I'm going to and checking that online? You can actually confirm
I didn't ask her for the details, but she didn't look dumb. I'm sure she must have done some sort of how do you say it now? Only to realize that she had
checks.
been, yeah. She She was weeping at the airport. She was weeping. Like you could tell that she's somebody that would normally not find herself in this scenario. She was weeping.
No, but how if she
That
checked it?
evidence.
If she had checked it, because apparently there was nothing from the. Do you need to take some time?
No, no, I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay. Like I'm sure, like if she checked at the hospital, they were not expecting her at the hospital. So it wasn't like okay, they faked unemployment and then they now resigned it. That means there was
I don't think
never
they would
any
have gone as
employment.
far as taking unemployment. I don't think they would have gone as far as that. Some of these agents are even uneducated. So I don't think they would have gone as far as that. If she had done her due diligence, she probably would
Yeah.
not have ended up with that. I agree with you. I agree with you.
And I'm thinking like that's another way, like apart from telling people, oh, please don't go to a man. He's like, okay, there's a system. We can help you. Maybe,
How do you
would that work?
tell the woman selling pepper at Ibadan, probably a berry or something, who's like no one in her family has ever traveled abroad, and she wants all her children to go to Iloyinbo, and you're telling her that that Iloyinbo is not good for them? My sister, you will fight war. The
Really?
only way to do it is to make the process, drop them, make the system drop them. Like you go to the American embassy, they don't give you a visa. Are you going to fight? You're not going to fight the embassy. Nobody needs to tell you that it's over. Like it's over. It's
It's
done.
over. What are you waiting for? You leave.
Mhm. You don't have to.
Mm.
There's no fighting involved. No, I paid my visa fee. Congratulations.
Mm.
You understand? So if we make that system that difficult, most agents will even drop out of the business because they're not making easy money anymore. Now you have to do it legit. Do you understand? So
Mm.
that's the only way I see. That's the way out of it. And then educating everybody, letting
Mm.
everybody know that these agents are your enemies. They do
Mm.
not want, they are not trying to make your life better. They are trying to sell your children. They're trying, you understand? Like when we start making noise like that, I believe we can also achieve something and then make the process hard, make it hard for them. In fact, create a body, let all these certified agents, let the ones that get legit jobs have a form of certification. Let them earn it. Like, okay,
Mm.
I don't do human trafficking. You need to know that you're going here to be a domestic worker. It is a
Mm-hmm.
legit job. There are agencies
Yeah.
who secure domestic workers for people, even here in Nigeria. It's a legit job.
Yeah.
It is legit.
Mm.
But it becomes a crime when you do not inform
Them about what they're
the
going there
person
to
what you're
do.
going there to do. Yeah, that's it.
You have a point because I'm always a bit wary of anything that involves the government in Nigeria. It takes time. Once you're trying to
It
involve the
takes,
government in anything you want to do, that like
it
sometimes
takes
it takes
time.
forever.
It takes forever. It does take forever. But we'll do what we can on the interim. But that is the only way we can get a lasting solution to this problem.
Mm.
We spoke to Mrs. Tolu Shadipe. She's chairman House Committee on Diaspora for the House of Representatives, and
Representatives. Okay.
she's planning to help us propose a bill to the House that will make this happen. You know, she even for the coronavirus, I'm sure would have started the process. That would kind of make this happen. At least, if the House of Reps pass, if they pass it, that's fine, and we'll see
Mm.
how we can keep pushing it. But in on the interim, we'll keep doing what we're doing.
I wish you the very best because I'm sure you don't have any experience with people trying to travel through the Mediterranean. It seems you're
Oh, we do,
oh, you do as well. Oh my
we
goodness.
do, and it's insane. You don't even want stories like that. Just keep me up at night. It's crazy.
But when you
It's crazy.
ask people like what's the justification?
For wanting to travel,
Not for wanting to traveling through the Sahara Desert and then traveling through the Mediterranean Sea. These are people sometimes that a lot of them don't even know how to swim.
some of them don't know. They don't know. They say somebody. It all boils down to doing your due diligence.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody says you want to travel, and they say, if you use your Nigerian passport, too, they will not give you visa. You don't have a job, so
Mm-hmm.
America will not give you visa. So it's better they give people visas very well in Ivory Coast, or they go quick give you for Ghana or Lumen. So when we will just travel for by road, we'll reach Ghana, we'll just do the passport for you, you understand? So once you get the passport, now Ghana you go go the embassy. So once
Yeah.
you enter Ghana, they will give you America. So from Ghana you will just they go your own. So pack all your
Mm-hmm.
load.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but at least that person has that opportunity to say, okay, at this point, no more when they get to Ghana, if
Really?
things have
They
not
will
worked out.
shoot you. How?
You know,
It's
like when you
always in
get
the
to
middle of
Ghana.
nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting to Ghana.
Oh.
You are not getting to Ghana. It's always in the middle of nowhere that they break it to you. Are you going to drop and walk your way through the Sahara Desert back to Nigeria? Are you? It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it's not.
They pick them up in Lebanon and take them through Medjugorje to
Mm.
Chad
Yeah,
to,
but that's
and
the
then
thing. If somebody is taking you to Maiduguri and you're going to Ghana, that person should know, okay,
how
just
do I?
look at your map.
Okay, so that person cannot tell you that soldier to the many for that side. Now here we the past. Now I know my way with this.
I wouldn't go.
Well, that's you.
I wouldn't go.
Because you're
Yeah.
not desperate. Because you're not desperate to travel. You're not. You don't really see the need. Do you understand? Some
Mm.
people feel like, okay, yeah, it's Nigeria. When anything works in this Nigeria, forget to. Before you know it, now you just find yourself in Ghana. And then when you're in the Sahara, in the middle of nowhere, you're like, nah, Ghana, we still they go. I know we don't pass Ghana. We don't do. Like, no, Ghana.
Mm.
It's like you can drop here and decide to trek back to Nigeria after you travel for like 4 or 5 days.
It just, I understand why, because I remember, the president of Philippines actually went there to say, okay, he was going to take out
Take out
the
the
people
citizens.
from his
Yeah,
country, if they
yeah,
were not going to treat them properly, which
yeah.
unfortunately we don't have, like we don't have that kind of a government. And that's why when the thing happened in China, I actually made a video about it. Like, okay, these people see us, they look at us and we don't treat ourselves better. And then you're
We
saying
don't.
they're treating you in a certain way. How are you treating an average Nigerian in Nigeria? So it makes me laugh when people say, oh, when you travel abroad, you're a second-class citizen. Because from my own experience, I don't even think I was a 10th-class citizen in Nigeria. Because for me, from my own experience, the only way you could get things done was always to have to go through someone. You always had to know someone. They would, you would always needed to like, tell people, I belong to this, or I know this person. So even in Nigeria, people are not being treated well, which is the
Sure.
unfortunate thing. Because look at the president. The president actually went there to say, okay, you treat us better or we're out of here. We don't have
In my
such.
experience, Nigerian missions abroad, when I say Nigerian high commissions abroad, are a little bit scared of their host community. And I don't know why.
I don't think they are
And I
scared. I
don't
think
know
they are
why.
just irresponsible. From my own
Oh,
experience with the
it's
little
just
ones,
really responsible. Because it took us a lot of noise, fire, thunder, and brimstone before the Nigerian ambassador in Lebanon would stand up to the Lebanese.
they're
They
just
are
not used to
the
standing up for anybody. I think
they are
that's
the
what it is.
Lebanese, for God's sake, Lebanese. What
Can
the
you
hell are
imagine?
they gonna do?
That's the Nigeria we have now.
They're not America, Lebanese. We can
And that's
threaten them by
another thing.
taking them out of Nigeria. We can chase them out of Nigeria and they will have
That's all we have
problems.
to do. Yeah.
And they will have problems. Lebanese. I got mad recently when during this coronavirus lockdown, somebody said an Ogun State company, a Lebanese man who owns his company in Ogun State, a manufacturing plant, locked all his workers in and told them to keep working through the lockdown. I'm like, those workers must be daft. Those workers must be very daft. They're like 200. One idiot locked you in. I will beat him blue black and I will go home. What's the worst that can happen? I will lose that job. Thank you.
Yeah, but when you look at it, sometimes the poverty in Nigeria as well.
It's not that bad. My sister, it is not that bad.
I tell you, it's that bad.
I live here now, you don't. I live here, you don't. It is bad. It is
It's
bad.
terrible. I come home regularly.
It is bad. It is not that bad. It is not as bad as some Lebanese idiots will lock me in a place and say, don't go. No, my dear, it is not that bad. I will go to my mom say and ask her to give me gari. We'll drink gari. But okay, I'll get another job. Do you understand? Sometimes we need to know that these people do not hold the key to our lives. They don't. Speaking Lebanese, I don't want to be discriminatory or nothing, but it is Lebanon, for God's sake. What value are you adding to Nigeria that is so important and I can't stand up to you? What is the value? What is the thing you're bringing to Nigeria? You have your companies here. Move. Thank you. Bye.
At the end of the day, at the end of the day, we have labor laws in Nigeria, but who is going to police it? That's the problem.
You're not America. You're not the UK. You're not Europe.
America will not even treat you that way.
You're Lebanon. Pack and go, man.
That's the sad reality of Nigeria now. Even sometimes it looks as if some of the countries that you think this want to, everybody wants to put their feet on Nigeria.
People are turning to sex slaves in Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast. I'm like, okay, if I want to be a prostitute, I think I'll
earn more money in Nigeria.
I think I'd rather be on Allen. Ivory freaking Coast. Ivory Coast.
But are those people making up their minds to go there, or they were trafficked as well?
They're not. These girls were told that they were going to be hairdressers. That they were going to be, there's a wig making company who decided to start up at Ivory Coast because there's no light in Nigeria. The electricity in Nigeria is poor, and they need electricity to do their work. So
and they didn't find Ghana to go to.
These girls are wig makers. The taxes in Ghana are high, and these girls make wigs, and so they feel like, oh, that's fine. All we have to do is make wigs for companies, not like for customers that will be owing us. Ivory Coast is not far. We can always come back home when we're on break and then go back and make wigs and all of that. And when they got there, they realized that it was prostitution.
So the agents really, they are the cancer in the whole thing.
They are.
The problem.
They are.
And the government,
until they're regulated, until they are made to face the music, we're not going anywhere. We're not.
Unfortunately.
We need all the help we can get. Yes. This video is going on. We need all the help we can get. We need international bodies to collaborate with us. We need people who can make our voice louder here in Nigeria. I believe that we also need what you call orientation, the grassroots orientation. We need to talk to people to let them know that these agents are your enemies. They are not the ones who want to make your life better. Because this person wants to sell your child, and all these places, the Middle East is not going in any way.
No.
So I feel like we need to do this on like impact basis. I am an actor, for instance. You know, when I go to the market and I talk to my people, they know me, I know them, and they know what I'm saying. So I feel like if we get a few actors and we do these road shows, that's what I feel like we should do. Like the next phase, we do this road show, we go to market, in Lagos, Ibadan. Ibadan is even a call for it's serious in Ibadan. I feel like we go to all the markets in Ibadan, do road shows, play videos, you know, of all the girls that were recorded who have suffered in Lebanon, in Oman, in all these places. Show these women the videos, tell them what you tell the questions that they need to be asking these agents when they come to them. Like, mama, bye. You understand? Like the questions that they need to be asking, we need to tell them the numbers that they can call. Like we give out our numbers, like mama Toma buying Toma's interesting, number, one number. I feel like we need to do these things, especially in Oyo State, in Osun State, and in Kwara State. We need to do these things. Nobody should even tell me to go to any politician. They are not listening right now because there's no money in it for them. But we're looking to private individuals who are willing to support us on this cause. I have given myself totally to this cause. That is my time, my energy, everything I have. I'm giving it into this cause. The only thing I do not have, unfortunately, is funding. So we are out here looking for funding to do this road shows in particular. We all have the help that we need.
And I wish you all the best, and I hope to see more from you guys.
Thank you.
All the best. And
Thank you.
please don't be a stranger.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. And on this
Bye. It was
note,
nice talking with
bye.
you.
Thank you.